At Perplexity, we get accused of trying to kill Google a lot. But trust me, we're not really trying to kill things. We are motivated about building things. The co-founders of Google would probably say the same. Let's hear from Larry Page, an interview of his from the year 2000. There are a few things interesting about this interview. One, Larry did accurately predict the future of search almost 25 years ago. The future of search is artificial intelligence. That's why I'm here, and we're going to talk more about it. Second, it's very interesting how a common theme in interviews like those or events like these is us thinking about the future. What is the future of search? What is the future of technology? What is the future of AI? I'm sure a lot of you have lots of thoughts about these questions. In some sense, that is the purpose of technology, to keep us thinking and to keep us evolving. But people like Larry, or people like you, or people like me, we are not building technology in a vacuum. We are building technology for us, the people. We are the people. So when we come here to think about what is the future of technology or what is the future of AI, let's ask ourselves this question. What is the future of us, the people? And I tell them the singular thing is to not be afraid of choosing your own path. I chose machine learning and AI at IIT when I was an undergrad, and trust me, these topics were not popular at all back then. So my family had a lot of concerns about some of my choices. They still do, actually. And I don't know how many of you have had parents from Chennai, India. But you know what? Finding a job at Google is usually an easier choice to explain to those parents than founding a company to compete with Google.
When I was 18, I don't think I had any maturity, right? Like, let me just be honest. Like, the only reason I did IIT JEE was because I wanted to compete. Like, I was very good at math, physics, chemistry, and there needed to be a yardstick to measure, Like, you look at people around you and like, are you better than the rest? Look, a lot of people in India are driven by the competitive nature. And there are some benefits to that. There are like cons to that too. And JEE was a great exam. All the best students went and studied there in IIT. So I also want to be one among them. And so I entered with that sort of a mentality inside IIT. And that mentality exists inside the IIT too. The rat race is not just before getting in. It continues even after. It's like who gets like 10 out of 10 or like 9 out of 10.8 out of 10 in the first semester. Who gets to like get good internships, right? Like who gets the internship in like Google? Who gets the internship in end of second year itself? Who gets the best internships? Or for that, in order to get the internships, you got to do all these projects beforehand within the campus. Who gets to be part of these clubs, do all these projects? And like, you're not just competing on the course grades, you're also like doing all sorts of other things. So nobody even actually clearly understands what is it they really want to do. Nobody takes a step back and thinks, why are we even working on this? What is the point? Like, how does the world work? Like, you don't take any time to understand. You're just like constantly in like a mad rush. I was also like very much like that. But my first year didn't go that great. I got like really poor grades because the first semester I wanted to transition from electrical to computer science. It's not just electrical. I think any department wants to get into computer science. The cool people study there. And then I missed it by like 0.01 or something GPA points. Very upset. So the second semester didn't go great for me. I was kind of disillusioned with the whole thing. And that's when like I got time in the summer. I wasn't doing any internship at the end of first year. I actually it's time back to like just read. I went to YouTube, watched a lot of lectures, truly understood like a lot of the fundamentals of electrical engineering. I was like, why am I even in this department? Like, okay, I need to stay here for another 4 years. So I better learn what it is even, right? Then I studied all these things and I got more and more excited. The third semester, I was truly interested in all the courses I took and I didn't study for grades. And I just nailed 10 out of 10. That got me the internship from end of second year. And from there on, like I realized I'm not in the rat race anymore. Whatever I'm interested in, I can nail it. And I'm not gonna like compete with the computer science friends of mine or something like that. And I got excited about machine learning much before everybody was like, yeah, whatever, this is not very important. Like go get an internship at Google. Then you get a pre-placement offer. You can make like, after 4 or 5 years, you'll have $1 million. Like everybody was in that mentality. Now, on the other hand, I got genuinely excited about like AI and machine learning and neural networks. I did like Hinton's like Coursera class, Andrewing's thing. I actually watched the Stanford lectures too, not just the Coursera thing. Like there are some things you just have to like really put in the grunt work of like watching 1 hour long videos instead of like watching a newly released movie, right? there's some of these things that you just make your own optimization. Not because like I felt like I'm sacrificing. I actually preferred this, you see? So that's when you know you like something. And that got me to where, like, doing good research, publishing papers in undergrad, admission into Berkeley and things like that. What did it take to get here? Long answer short, blood, sweat, tears, but specifically this, focus on making the search better and better every day. A lot of small things, like literally search. The good thing about search is like everybody knows all the problems you need to solve, but nobody wants to put in like years and years of work into solving them because it's a lot of work and like boring work. Sometimes you just have to like find bad sources on the internet and like ban them, look at like what kind of queries are susceptible to SEO, measure a lot of evals on like how accurate your answers are, like all sorts of things. First of all, I think if you aim to get to building a search competitor, it's very hard to like even take the first step. I even say this, like if you go and tell people you want to take on Google, nobody will give you even a penny. But if you say you're going to work on a healthcare search engine, even if that idea is so flawed, people are willing to give you like millions of dollars because they think, oh, that one has no competition. Like Google's not going to work on like healthcare specifically. So it's just sort of this mentality, and we obviously never tried to like compete with them. Though the first idea I did pitch to an investor was, oh, like it'd be nice to disrupt Google. What if people could just search through their glasses and like, ask questions about what they see on the glass and stuff like that. We were more narrowly focused on like just searching over databases, searching over documents, things like that. Each thing as you accomplish, it leads you to the next thing. It's almost like very organic. So when we finished searching over like tables and stuff, we were like, okay, what if we could organize the internet in the form of tables and search over it? And that became like, okay, like what if we scrape Twitter and like search over like Twitter's data set? And then that excited a lot of investors. And then that led us like, what if we can crawl the web and then search over it? Like, why do we restrict to one domain? And then this unique intersection of a new tool, large language models, and an existing tool like traditional search combined together created a very new, unique, differentiated experience. And we thought, okay, it's a good way to like make people ask and get answers. No competition with Google or anything. It's just like a tool you can use. But slowly over time, we realized, okay, this can actually be bigger than we thought. Like, there's no reason for people to use the traditional template search engine if this sort of technology works very reliably. And you always want to work on something where today's state is not perfect, but some years of work put into it will make it so good. You never want to work on something where everything's already ready and like you just have to go and build a business, because that means somebody else can also do it, and that somebody else, if they have a bigger business team, sales and marketing, they're going to beat you. You want to have that advantages of like working on something that's on the rise. It is still improving. There's still a lot of grunt work and boring work to be done to make it really work. And while doing that, you build the rest of the stuff as a company, like business and marketing and like growth and stuff like that. So that when you eventually land at a place of advantage, it's going to be hard to like compete with you. So this had all those properties. And finally, this was completely by accident. We realized that only after serving the product, we realized, okay, why is Google not building this? Obvious question to ask. Everybody on the internet is ready to remind you, oh yeah, Google's just going to add this as a feature. The one reason they cannot do this is like they've built the whole foundation on driving traffic to others. Like the more you click on a link, the more Google gets to claim credit for being the referral of the traffic. And the more it can claim that credit, the more it can charge the advertiser a higher fee for bidding on a certain keyword to get that click. And the more it can charge the advertiser, the more margins it can see on its business. And that is what drives its stock price up. And that's what lets it hire a lot of talented people by giving them a lot of compensation in stock. So when you break the foundation of this, when you start giving less referral, the advertising bidding is not as lucrative anymore. Advertisers start paying less prices, your margins go down, and therefore you're no longer as valuable, even though you have like loads of cash and a lot of business otherwise. So this is the classic, your margin is my opportunity situation that, this quote is from Jeff Bezos, and it's historically applied to most innovator dilemma situations.
By the way, this goes into the whole, like, what do you really want? Some people don't want to work hard, and I don't want to like make any point here that says a life where you don't work hard is meaningless. I don't think that's true either. But if there is a certain idea that
really just occupies your mind all the time, it's worth making your life about that idea and living for it. Yeah, you can work incredibly hard, and if there's anything I regret about my earlier years is that there were at least few weekends where I just literally watched YouTube videos and did nothing. Most people said PhD is a waste of time. If you go work at Google after you complete your undergraduate, start off with a salary like 150K or something, but at the end of 4 or 5 years, you would have progressed to like a senior or staff level and be earning like a lot more. And instead, if you finish your PhD and join Google, you would start 5 years later at the entry level salary. What's the point? But they viewed life like that. Little did they realize that no, like you're optimizing with a discount factor that's like equal to 1, or not like discount factor that's close to 0.
But there's something interesting in AI that I've noticed compared to other tech founders, or their stereotypes at least. A lot of us hold PhDs. I mean, quite a lot. 11 out of 24 speakers just at this conference have PhDs, and over a third are assistant, associate, or full professors with major universities. Only time will tell if this is a new trend of seeing academics in technology startups. But I got pretty curious to find out if this is common or new. And it turns out this is somewhat new. Only over a year ago, the researchers at the University of Maryland found a 38% decline at the rate of startup formation or share of employment by US PhDs over the past 20 years. Yet, our attendance here today and the trend in AI technology broadly does not seem to correlate with this finding. As I said, only time and more data will tell. In the meantime, my curiosity led me to another question. What was the last major technology company founded by academics? Google. So when you're really young, you can often fall off and keep learning continuously, so there should be no fear about choosing your own path. One of my heroes growing up was Sundar Pichai. He still is. He's the CEO of Google. And Sundar forged a path for a generation of Indians to come here and succeed. By leading a $1 trillion company, he made it possible for the next generation, like me, to dream even bigger, to actually go and found a company that can be a $1 trillion company in the future. So the best question, in my opinion, is not who are you or what are you, but rather how are we laying a path for the next generation of young people. And I know all of you have had a head start on that. That's why we're all here. So thank you so much for doing what you're doing. Thank you so much.